Thanks very much. Of course, Calgary entrepreneur, philanthropist, known across the province. Brett Wilson, you've been following Alberta's flooding closely with in-person visits, of course, as well as what you've been seeing on the news. Your initial reaction, I suppose, like the rest of us, gobsmacked, I would imagine.
Shock and awe. I mean, it was just upsetting as one could imagine to see the kind of devastation and how quickly it occurred. At the same time, I really do give credit to the press and to the politicians, for once. For keeping calm. I mean, there was, I love the transparency, the communication was outstanding, and I think it's a big part of why the city didn't overreact at any one time.
Now, you took a trip to High River to see firsthand what had happened there, obviously one of the most devastated areas. What did that look like? Well,
I stopped and had a chat with the folks who would not let me in. It really didn't matter what kind of truck I had. Sure. Nobody was going into High River. But my real trip was down to Nanton to visit the shelter on Saturday night. And the Hutterite colony had come in, they were cooking, the local community, the amount of food and clothing that was coming in to distribute to people who may need it. They were basically inventorying a small winners, I would call it, at their shop. But the spirit of the people, indomitable and irrepressible.
Brett, of course, you're a resident of Calgary. When it comes to either your personal resident or some of the businesses you have an interest in, have you been directly impacted by this flood?
My house is on a hill, so we're good there. There's no backup. There was no problems there. But I can tell you that several of my businesses were shut down. We've actually got a building that looks like we're going to have to literally knock over, and no, there is no insurance. But you know what? Nobody was hurt. So we just sort of stop there and go get on with life, as most people in Calgary are doing.
We are doing that, but I mean, sort of after the fact, we spoke with Calgary Chamber President Adam Legg about the economic impact. The numbers just starting to trickle in, but it's going to be enormous, especially on small business. What do you think we can do to kind of rebuild that side of things?
Well, I think the first thing is keep our spirit up, and that's one of the things that everybody's doing a really good job of. I'm a huge fan of the fact that Stampede is coming back, and it may not be the same as it's always been, but there will be a Stampede, so that's number one. And it's not like we're fighting the environment, we're just going to work with it. So number one is keeping our spirits up. Number two is let's get back into the real active life of business. I mean, there's some cleanup going on, but we've got to get downtown busy. We've got to get all the businesses. Let's get back to life as quickly as we possibly can. That's sort of I would say, the core messaging. You know, I'm doing a large charity event tomorrow night. There's no disrespect intended for those who are in the process of cleanup, but you know, I've got 150 people that work for me. Do I fire them all, or do I actually give them the work and run the event and raise a bunch of money? In this case, we're doing a charity for adolescent mental health in one bucket, but there's going to be another bucket which is going to say Calgary or High River or flood relief.
I hope that you'll pardon the frankness and directness of this question, Brett, but your success is no secret to anyone. Can we expect you to step up and make a personal commitment to Alberta's flood recovery?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll be there, my peer group will be there. You know, there's a lot of people standing on the sidelines right now ready to do something meaningful once it's clear where the money is needed and how to get it there. So that's probably the biggest holdup. And I personally, my first check's going to be purely, directly, solely for the town of High River.
W.Brett Wilson, thank you for coming under these circumstances, and please keep us posted, would you?
Absolutely.
I know you'll have lots to do with this.
Absolutely.